You read the title, you see the thumbnail, and you know what we're going to talk about here. So let's skip those long intros and let me give you these 10 hack and slash games that you totally need to play. Starting off with number 10, we have Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Lucky for those who didn't get to play the original Ninja Gaiden 2, because this remake makes the combat even better. Previously, I was really annoyed playing this. Apart from being hard, which, mind you, I love, the janky controls also punished you. But with this remake, you can now fully embrace being a true ninja and wreak havoc on your enemies. The combat is razor sharp, with Ryu Hayabusa's Dragon Sword feeling more responsive than ever. You've got these insane combos that let you slice through hordes of enemies, and the gore. It's gloriously over the top. This new version also comes with NG Plus mode, so you can dive back in and experience some of the most brutal fights in 120 FPS. It's like the game was made for modern systems, and honestly, if you're into hack and slash, this is a must play. The difficulty is still there, but now it feels fair, and that makes all the difference. At number 9, Persona 5 Strikers. Okay, so this one's a bit of a curveball if you're expecting pure hack and slash. It's more of a hybrid, blending Persona's signature style with fast-paced combo-heavy combat. You're still running around with the Phantom Thieves, pulling off flashy moves and taking down shadows, but the action is way more intense. Each character has their own unique fighting style. Joker's daggers are quick and precise, while Ryuji's heavy attacks feel like you're swinging a freight train. The game also keeps the Persona mechanics, so you can summon your Persona mid-battle for some seriously over-the-top attacks. It's not just about mashing buttons though, there's a lot of strategy in chaining combos and exploiting enemy weaknesses. And let's not forget the style. This game oozes it, from the menus to the animations. If you love Persona 5, this is a no-brainer. If you haven't played it yet, you're missing out on one of the most stylish action RPGs out there. Coming at number 8, NieR Automata. This game is kind of cool while also making you question your entire existence. The combat is slick, fast, and ridiculously satisfying. You've got 2B, 9S, and A2 swinging swords, spears, and these wild pod weapons that can shoot lasers or hammers. The melee combat feels so fluid, like every slash and dodge is perfectly timed, and the combos just flow together. I don't know, there's something about the way Platinum Games designed this combat system that makes it feel like you're in complete control even when you're surrounded by a dozen robots. And then there's the pod system, which adds this layer of ranged combat that doesn't feel tacked on. You can switch between melee and ranged attacks seamlessly, and it actually enhances the gameplay instead of just being there for variety. The way the game blends these elements with its story and world building is just chef's kiss. Oh, and if you're thinking about playing it, go for the Game of the Yorha edition. It's got all the DLC and extra content, so it's the definitive way to experience this masterpiece. Coming at number 7, we have Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I am obsessed with the Nemesis system in Shadow of War, like it's one of those mechanics that just makes the game feel alive. You're out there in Mordor, hacking through orcs with your sword, and every fight feels personal because these guys remember you. They come back stronger, angrier, and with a grudge. It's insane how much depth it adds to the combat. The melee combat itself is super fluid. You've got this mix of stealth, ranged attacks, and brutal swordplay that lets you approach fights however you want. But let's be real, the best part is when you're surrounded by orcs and just go full Aragorn on them. The combos are smooth, the executions are vicious, and the upgrades keep things fresh as you progress. Now, if you're worried about the remaster, don't be. The definitive edition is the way to go. It's got all the DLC, improved visuals, and it just runs better overall. Shadow of War is one of those games where you can lose hours just exploring, fighting, and building your army. It's a must-play for anyone who loves hack and slash with a side of strategy. Coming in at number 6, we have Bayonetta. Now, if you're into hack and slash games and haven't played Bayonetta, I don't know what you're doing with your life. This game is pure, unadulterated chaos wrapped in style. Bayonetta herself is a witch who fights with guns on her heels and fists that hit like a freight train. The combat is so fluid, it's kind of like dancing, if dancing involved summoning giant demons to crush your enemies. Every combo feels like a reward, and the game encourages you to experiment with weapons and moves. There's a bit of ranged combat with her guns, but honestly the melee is where it's at. The way she whips around enemies, flips through the air, and just obliterates everything in her path is insane. And let's not forget the over-the-top boss fights that feel like they belong in a blockbuster movie. If you're going to play it, go for the remastered version. It's smoother, looks better, and just nails the vibe of the original while giving it a fresh coat of paint. Bayonetta is one of those games that makes you feel like an absolute legend by the time you're done. Hey, if you're loving this list so far, please take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out, and I'd love to see you back for more. Alright, let's get to the next awesome hack and slash game. At number 5, we have Darksiders Warmastered. Now, let's talk about Darksiders Warmastered. This game is kind of like that old leather jacket you find in the back of your closet. It's been around for a while, but it still looks and feels amazing. The Warmastered version is a remaster of the original, and honestly, it's the best way to experience this classic. The combat is just so satisfying. You're War, one of the four horsemen, swinging a massive sword, summoning chaos and tearing through enemies like they're made of paper. The remaster didn't just slap on a fresh coat of paint, it smoothed out the controls, cranked up the resolution to 4K, and made the whole thing feel buttery smooth. I don't know about you, but there's something about cleaving through hordes of demons that never gets old. And yeah, it might feel a little dated compared to newer games, but the sheer weight of the combat and the epic scale of the story still hold up. If you've never played it, now's the time. Trust me, you're going to want to dive into this one. Next at number 4, Ghostrunner 2. Alright, Ghostrunner 2 is here, and it's just as intense as the first one. This game is all about speed and precision. You're basically a cyber ninja slicing through enemies in one hit, but if you mess up, you're done. The melee combat is razor sharp, and the katana feels like an extension of your hand. You're dashing, wall running, and sliding through levels, and it all flows together so smoothly. There's a bit of ranged combat with shurikens and a grappling hook, but the focus is definitely on getting up close and personal. The game's got this cyberpunk aesthetic that's just dripping with style, and the soundtrack pumps you up for every fight. It's not just about hacking and slashing though, there's a lot of parkour and puzzle solving which keeps things fresh. If you played the first one, you'll notice how they've expanded on everything. More enemies, more abilities, and a deeper story. It's the kind of game that makes you feel like a total badass, even when you're dying over and over. Trust me, it's worth the frustration. At number 3, we have Devil May Cry 5. I am just going to say it, Devil May Cry 5 is the pinnacle of hack and slash. The combat is so ridiculously stylish, it's like the game is daring you to look cool while you play. You've got 3 characters to choose from, and each one feels completely unique. Dante's got his classic sword and gun combo, Nero's got this mechanical arm that lets you pull off insane moves, and, well, V's kind of like a summoner, which is a wild twist for the series. The melee combat is where this game shines, though. The combos are endless, and the game rewards you for being creative. You can juggle enemies in the air, slam them into the ground, and then finish them off with a flourish. It's the kind of game where you'll replay levels just to get a higher style rating. The visuals are stunning, and the soundtrack, absolute fire. If you've played the older games, you'll appreciate how this one ties everything together, but even if you're new, it's easy to pick up and just have a blast. Seriously, if you haven't tried this yet, you're missing out. We're really getting close to the final game, but before that, we have God of War 3 Remastered. Forget all that emotional storytelling from the newer ones, because this is Kratos at his angriest, rawest, best. You're tearing through gods and monsters with those blades of chaos, and the melee combat's just savage. Every swing's a power trip. I'm saying this redefined hack and slash back in the day, going toe-to-toe with titans so big they fill the screen. You're not just tapping buttons, you're unleashing combos that feel like pure vengeance. No ranged nonsense here, it's all up close, personal, and bloody. I played the original on PS3, and trust me, it still holds up, though the remastered version, that's the one to grab. They've juiced up the graphics, making every decapitation pop like it's brand new. Facing Zeus or Hades isn't some casual stroll, you're locked in, feeling the stakes with every dodge and strike. I don't know how they packed so much fury into one game, honestly. Everything's tighter, smoother, and twice as brutal now. You're ripping through mythology like it owes you money, and that energy's unmatched. Grab the remaster, because it's the definitive way to experience this chaos, and Kratos doesn't play nice. And finally at number 1, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 just dropped, and I'm telling you, this thing's a total beast. You're swinging massive chainswords, smashing through hordes of chaos freaks, and the melee combat feels so chunky, like every hit's got real weight behind it. I'm talking pure hack and slash madness, where you're knee-deep in guts one second, then bam, you're dodging some ugly tyrannid lunging at your face. They've mixed in range stuff too. Bolters and plasma guns pop off when you need them, but the real juice is in the close-up brawls. Everything's dialed up, super intense, and if you blink, you're toast starting back at the checkpoint. I love how it's not messing around. You're a walking tank carving through everything. Runs like a dream on all platforms, no hiccups, just smooth carnage. Now this one's fresh out the oven, so it's got that shiny new game vibe, pulling you in with slick visuals and tight controls. I don't know, something about stomping heretics in power armor hits different. You're basically living that Warhammer fantasy, slicing and dicing till the screen's red. Total must play if you're into that raw, brutal energy. And there you have it, guys. Thanks for sticking until the end, and see you in the next video.